Hey, before starting the video, watch these. This is the raw, unfiltered reality of the Iran-Israel war, a conflict that's pushing the Middle East to the edge. What's happening right now? Why are the next 48 hours so critical? Will Israel's relentless strikes cripple Iran's nuclear dreams? Or is Iran about to pull off a counterattack that shocks the world? Could Donald Trump's cryptic moves signal a game-changing U.S. intervention? And the big one, who's walking away from this as the victor? I'm Kundan Yashputra, and today we're diving deep into the heart of this war to uncover what's coming next. Stay with me, because this story is about to get wild. Let's set the stage. It's June 17, 2025, and the Iran-Israel conflict has been raging for 5 days. Missiles are flying, cities are burning, and global powers are watching like hawks. The stakes? Nothing less than the balance of power in the Middle East. Iran's nuclear program, Israel's survival, and America's role as the world's enforcer are all on the line. But the clock is ticking. Experts are calling the next 48 hours a make-or-break moment. Why? Let's step back to understand how we got here and what's driving this chaos. This war didn't start last week. It's been brewing for decades like a pressure cooker left on high. Iran and Israel have been locked in a shadow war since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, when Iran's new leaders vowed to wipe Israel off the map. Fast forward to 2025, and Israel's had enough. They've launched Operation Rising Lion, a massive campaign of airstrikes targeting Iran's nuclear sites, military bases, and even state media. The Guardian reported on June 16th that Israel's jets have hit over 200 targets, killing 227 Iranian civilians and decimating Iran's air defenses. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says these strikes are about stopping Iran's nuclear program before it's too late. But here's the twist. U.S. intelligence, as cited by CNN on June 17th, claims Iran is still years away from a nuclear bomb. So is Israel overreacting, or do they know something we don't? Let's talk about Iran's SARD. They're not just sitting back. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed on June 17th via state TV that they hit a Mossad center in Tel Aviv with missiles, setting it ablaze. Israel hasn't confirmed this, but if true, it's a bold move. Iran's also firing missiles that are slipping through Israel's defenses, hitting Tel Aviv and causing chaos. Reuters noted on June 17th that Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is in hiding, but he's still calling the shots. Iran's strategy? Survive Israel's onslaught, hit back where it hurts, and wait for the world to step in. Now, enter Donald Trump. The U.S. president left a G7 summit in Canada early on June 17th, ordering his National Security Council to prep for a White House Situation Room meeting. The New York Times reported that Trump's move sparked speculation he's planning a bigger U.S. role. On his platform, Truth Social, Trump posted that he knows where Khamenei is hiding but won't kill him, yet. He's urging Iran to surrender, saying the next 48 hours are critical. But here's where it gets messy. Trump's clashing with his own intelligence chief, Tulsi Gabbard, who told Congress on June 17th that Iran's nuclear threat isn't as imminent as Israel claims. Trump's response? He doesn't care. He's pushing for a decisive end to this war, not a ceasefire. What does that mean? Is America about to jump in with both feet? Let's zoom in on the battlefield. Israel's been hammering Iran's nuclear sites, like Natanz, where the International Atomic Energy Agency confirmed on June 17th that strikes damaged underground centrifuge halls. But the real prize is Fordow, Iran's fortress-like nuclear plant buried half a mile under a mountain near Qom. Live Hindustan reported on June 17 that Fordow's so secure only the U.S. Its GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, a 30,000-pound bunker buster, can destroy it. Israel doesn't have this bomb, and America hasn't handed it over. Why? Politics and strategy. If Israel hits Fordow without U.S. help, they risk radiation leaks and global backlash. But if America steps in, it's a whole new war. Think of this like a high-stakes poker game. Israel's gone all in, betting they can crush Iran's nuclear program before the world stops them. Iran's bluffing, hoping their counterattacks and alliances, like with China, buy them time. Trump's the wild card, holding the best cards but refusing to show his hand. And the next 48 hours, that's when the bets are called. Will Israel keep pounding Iran into submission? Will Iran's missiles turn Tel Aviv into a war zone? Or will Trump drop a bombshell, literally or figuratively, that changes everything? Let's rewind to understand Iran's nuclear program because it's the heart of this war. Fordow was exposed in 2009 by Western intelligence, as BBC News reported. Built deep underground, it's got centrifuges that can enrich uranium to 60%, close to the 90% needed for a bomb. Israel's terrified that Fordow could produce a nuke in months, though U.S. intelligence says it'd take 3 years to weaponize it. Iran insists their program is for energy, not weapons, but nobody's buying it. Past cyber attacks, like the Stuxnet virus Israel and the U.S. allegedly unleashed in 2010, slowed Iran down, but they're back in the game. Israel's strikes are meant to end it for good, but Fordow still standing. Now let's humanize this. Imagine you're Reza, a 30-year-old engineer in Tehran. You're not a soldier, just a guy trying to live your life. Last night, an Israeli airstrike hit your neighborhood, killing your neighbor's family. You're angry, scared, and wondering why your country's leaders keep poking the bear. Or picture Sarah, a 25-year-old in Tel Aviv, hiding in a bomb shelter as Iranian missiles rain down. She's proud of her country's strength, but terrified of what's next. These are real people caught in a war driven by geopolitics and pride. Their stories remind us this isn't just about bombs, it's about lives. What's China's role? On June 17th, Xinhua reported that President Xi Jinping broke his silence, saying Beijing's deeply concerned about the conflict. China's Iran's biggest oil buyer and a key ally. If they step in diplomatically, or worse, militarily, it could tip the scales. But China's cautious, not wanting to clash with the US or Israel. They're like the quiet kid in a fight, watching but ready to jump if it suits them. So what happens in the next 48 hours? Let's break it down. Option 1, Israel doubles down, hitting more nuclear sites and maybe even targeting Khamenei, despite Trump's warning. This could force Iran to escalate, launching bigger attacks on Israel or US bases in the region. Al Jazeera reported on June 17 that Iran's warned of severe consequences if their forces are hit. Option 2, Iran pulls a surprise, like a cyber attack or a major strike on Israel's infrastructure. They've got the tech. Remember the 2020 hack on Israel's water systems? Option 3, Trump steps in, either with diplomacy or force. If he greenlights a US strike on Fordow, it's game over for Iran's nuclear program. But it risks a wider war. Who wins? It's not simple. Israel's got the edge in firepower and US backing, but Iran's resilient, with a vast missile arsenal and allies like Hezbollah. If Israel destroys Fordow, they win a strategic victory, But at what cost? Civilian deaths, regional chaos, and maybe a nuclear-armed Iran in the future. If Iran survives and keeps Fordo, they win by outlasting Israel's blitz. Trump's the decider. If he joins Israel, Iran's toast. If he stays out, it's a stalemate. My bet? The next 48 hours won't end the war, but they'll decide who's got the upper hand. Let's reflect. This war's about more than missiles. It's about fear, power, and survival. Israel's fighting to exist. Iran's fighting for pride and influence. The US is fighting to stay on top. But what about Reza and Sarah? They're the ones paying the price. This conflict shows how fast mistrust can spiral into destruction. What does it teach us about diplomacy or the cost of war? I'm left wondering if anyone really wins when the stakes are this high. We've poured our hearts into deep research to bring you this story, and NextGen Now is our brand new channel, built to spark curiosity and uncover truth. As a token of appreciation, hit that subscribe button, share this video with a friend, and join our growing community. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think happens next? I'm Kundan Yashputra, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious.